Hello.
Welcome to TFL TableTalk.
Yeah.
We're glad you're here.
All right. For those of you that are joining us that haven't joined us before, this is Rhonda, the Farmer's Lamp, and I'm Jason. This week on TFL, I guess.
On TFL, yeah.
Well, this week on the farm. We usually start out with this week on the farm.
The noise. We have the one of the grandchildren today, so thank you for understanding.
Yep. At least she's not running this video equipment right now.
She tried. Okay, this week on the farm.
Yep. We got the chicks moving out. They're moving out of the brooder and going to be out in the small coop. So we'll get them out probably, in the next few hours.
We have a different kind of setup. The chicken coop where the chickens are is almost it was actually over 100 years now, 100 years old. So we've been doing some repairs on that, as you can imagine, and trying to keep the original structure as much as we can because it's got really huge old trees off of the farm as the corner posts and some of the support beams. So that's really cool. We really like that. So we want to keep as much of that as we can. So that's where the chickens live. And when you add new chicks or chickens to a flock, you can't just put them in there. And one thing, these are too little from the brooder. They can't go in the coop with the big ones. So we have a little coop set up outside that they go into. And that way the chickens can come by and see them, and they see the chickens, and they get used to one another. Then in another 3 weeks or so, we'll take them out of the little brooder and put them into the coop at night when everybody's asleep. And there's something about them going to sleep and waking up together that they're fine after that. But they'll do their usual pecking order thing, but they're good. So that's how that'll work. So,
yeah.
And by that time, the 20 that we've got in the incubator, and we handled them last night, they're all moving around in there and doing their ninja moves in there. They're all good right now, unless we have a quitter, which is a chick that dies after 7 days of incubation. That's what they call a quitter. Unless we have some of those, we'll be ready for those to leave the brooder and go into the little coop. So we'll just move around until everybody's back in the coop finally.
Yep.
What else happened this week?
Let's see. We've got some herbs going into the kitchen garden, the raised beds, and we've got a bunch of seed sprouting for the regular garden, things that are going to go in the ground. So those are going to be, for our last frost date, those are going to need to be banked. So we probably bank them in a raised bed and cover them with some plastic until it's time to put them in the ground. So, but they're doing good. And of course, if we were down in zone 8,
where we've always been, except for the last few years.
Yeah, then they would be ready to go in the ground.
They'd be in the ground already.
Yeah. So that's pretty much the major things that are going on. It got up to 60 today, so
71 tomorrow. We had really bad storms, and I know several of y'all have said that y'all had really bad weather last week. So we hope that everybody's okay. Our family in the south had some tornadoes pass by, just got some trees, no real damage down there. So we hope that you're all okay and didn't have any real damage either.
Yep. That's pretty much overview of what happened on the farm. So as far as on TFL, of over 100,000 views on the video of the old-timey sayings and their meanings. A lot of comments on there, and the old-timey sayings book and game that we invented.
Yeah, we invented a party game to go along with that book. So
because who wants to play charades every time you get together with friends? I mean, you need to have some kind of variety. So we come up with an old-timey game that goes along with that book and the sayings. It's in the back of the book, actually. So about 100 pages of old-timey sayings, and then the party game. So that that took off. A lot of people supported that video, enjoyed that video, so that was nice. And then we got our books for the poultry up. The bundle now is the first time they've been offered in a bundle, so we've got them up. The chicken book, um, turkeys, geese, ducks, and guineas. It's a 5 bundle book there, so over 200 pages for I believe for the chicken book. We put, um, you know, you have the information been passed down through our families because for generations we've been backyard chicken, keepers and cows and pigs. But it does take a little learning curve and a lot to put all that information down in a way that people can benefit from it. So it took us quite a few years. I think we came out with that chicken book in 2016, something like that. Yeah. But now it's in a bundle and that's up. And that's about it, I think, for TFL. Really, some new articles.
Trying to really put out the articles that you're asking questions about.
Yep.
So
yeah. As far as goals for next week and what to look forward to, we've got
exciting stuff.
Yeah, we've got something that we're trying to add to the website. Rhonda's grandpa's name was Oscar, and so we've called it Oscar. And what it is an AI that is built just for the Farmers Lamp community. And what it does is it reads all the books that we've written, over 20 books and publications, hundreds of articles that have been published. It has all that in the database, and then all you have to do is just get on there and ask it, any question that's that information that's been passed down for generations through our grandparents and their grandparents. All you have to do now will be able to do is just get on there and just ask it, how many days does it take for, a turkey to hatch out, eggs, or how close do I plant my pepper plants? And the AI with it instantly scans all that, millions of words. It scans it all and it shoots you back an answer, and then it tells you what resource it came from. So that's been a big goal for us, for all these years. When we started the Farmer's Lamp, one of the big goals was to get the information to be accessible, because some of these people, like teenagers, they have no experience, but they just go out there and they just use these AIs to write articles about stuff they've never experienced and never did. And you've got to wade through all this information, and now the internet's getting
misinformation.
Yeah, it's getting so hard to find an answer that really works. I mean, some of the stuff that people are putting down on the internet, I mean, it's just, I guess it could be entertaining at best because it's not going to work in real life. Right. But this information will just be the recipes and gardening and the livestock and the poultry and the homesteading and everything that has been compiled. So we're looking forward to that. Hopefully we get that up coming up maybe next week. Maybe it might take us longer because we've got real life and we've got, animals.
We're working with the developers and other, there's other things,
Yeah.
So
yeah.
At the outside a month.
Yeah.
Before Oscar's up and running full blast. Our goal is a week, 2 weeks. But you know how that goes. Best laid plans, and that kind of thing. Tomorrow the cows might break through the fences and you spend 2 weeks putting fences back together.
You never know what's going to happen.
You never know. Got to be flexible in this lifestyle. You have to be flexible.
Yeah, which is the way I like it. Yes. I don't like being bored, so there's always something to do. It's a great lifestyle.
Yes.
Other than that, we've got, more planting, we got to move a bunch of mulch down to the garden site. We've got to work some dirt for where the rows of corn and peas are going. We've got stuff like that. I don't know how much of that will get done this week, but we've got a lot of stuff that we can do that way. So it's good, fun work. And that's probably about all I can think of.
That's all I can think of. What's next?
As far as Q&A.
Oh, Q&A. Yes. Susie from the UK. We've done quite a bit of chatting this week, and she's new to einkorn. She grinds einkorn berries for fresh flour, is how they are doing it. And she enjoyed some of our recipes, but she was having trouble because fresh ground einkorn is not the same as all-purpose einkorn. As anybody with any experience in flour in general, but especially einkorn, can tell you, it's a different animal. And she wanted to know how she could get her freshly ground einkorn flour closer to all-purpose flour. Now, we've talked about it, and we've kind of looked at doing it. We don't do that. We buy the all-purpose flour from einkorn.com. Is where we get ours, because they grind it when you order it and send it to you. So that's why we go with them. But there are lots of places, that people can, whoever you're comfortable ordering from. But anyway, I do have a friend who does do freshly ground einkorn berries to get her flour. So I talked with her, and she shared with me, and I shared with Susie. So I'm sharing with everybody here. You get a size 6 or size 7 sifter, and you grind your einkorn berries as fine as your grinder will get them. And you put them through that number 6 or number 7 sifter, and that's going to get you pretty close, if not all the way to all-purpose einkorn flour. Now, the part that you sift out, the bran and all that, don't throw that away, because that's very nutritious. It's got a lot of good stuff in there. She uses it on top of her breads. It makes like kind of a crispy crust on there. She also adds it to oatmeal or cooks it by itself, kind of like a whole bran hot cereal for breakfast. One of her kids loves it sprinkled on his raisin brans. So, however you want to use it, it's very usable.
Yeah.
So I hope that answers your question, if you had that same question as Susie did.
Yep. And the next part that we usually go over is just giving people what we call health helps. And I mean, just things that we do, not anything medical advice or anything like that. These are just things that we do to stay healthy. And one of the things I thought about was incline bed therapy that we've been doing for years. And what that is exactly is it's just taking some books or some bricks or something and basically making your bed at least 6 inches off the ground at the headboard. So you're sleeping on an incline, and that might be too much for you. Depends on how long your bed is. That changes, but you do get used to it. The first time that we slept on an inclined bed like that, we inclined our bed. We just got a 4-post wooden, old-fashioned kind of looking bed, and we propped it up, and it felt like you were just going to slide off, to the bottom. But it does help with a lot of different things: back pain, your lymph system draining. It helps with
digestion,
sinus
drainage.
Sinus drainage. You just want to go ahead and
sorry.
No, go ahead. But anyways, the incline bed therapy. I think there is a site, actually, a website that you can go to that does a real good job explaining it. It's been a long time since I've been there, but it was, I think, called inclinebedtherapy.com. It was a long, drawn out,
something like that.
Like that.
Old URL, so they had all the words instead of the abbreviations.
If you can't find it, just leave a comment or shoot us an email, and I've got it bookmarked somewhere, so we can send that to you. But it's definitely something you can do. Doesn't cost you anything, and you will, if you stick with it for, just stick with it for a month, you will start reaping the benefits. And inclinedmedtherapy.com will go over a lot more of that. But that's something that has helped our health.
Yeah, it has.
So,
it's made a lot of difference.
As friends with friends, we're just sharing what has helped us, and might be for you, might not be, but that's something that I would share this week.
Okay.
All right, Annie.
I'm quit talking now. I'm all talked up. No.
Oh, you were doing good, because I'm tired and I was starting to struggle there.
We've been babysitting all weekend. A very active 7-year-old. So yeah, we're a little bit tired. We just got back from bowling. We took her bowling. That's one of her favorite things to do, is to try to beat Papa bowling. So
yeah,
we just went and did that with her. So now it's time to get outside and do a little more work, maybe cut some grass or something before tomorrow is Sunday. Oh, there she is.
All right.
All right. We hope y'all have a great week. Until next time, God bless. Safe and happy journey.